Hi there, today I am here to show you how to prepare for this Smarter Balanced Assessment if your students are taking it with an iPad. Our goal is to assess what students know and are able to do rather than whether or not they can use the technology. This video corresponds with a Google Doc that I put on our website right here. This doc has a list of iPad skills needed based on sample questions of the Smarter Balanced Assessment. These skills may or may not be used on the Smarter Balanced Assessment because it's still in draft form, but it's better to integrate as many tech skills now so students feel confident when they're taking that assessment. So let's take a look at a few skills that they need. The first one we talk about is the click and drag. And the app, you can use a lot of different apps for that, but I like to use Doodle Buddy. And kids are very intuitive with touch screens, so they have no problem with this. But if you click on the chalk, and you can choose a brush if you want. I have chalk right now. Let's go with red. And what you want kids to be able to do is drag their finger, make a shape, close a shape, things like that, make lines, connect. The other thing that we want them to do is to be able to click and drag things. And so if you click on the T tool, and let's just write hello, I'm going to click on done. And then you'll see a couple things. This will make it bigger, and that's a good skill for them to do too, click and drag to make their word bigger. But this right here is actually their handle, and they can move their text around. This is clicking and dragging around the screen. We want to make sure that kids feel comfortable doing that. Most kids will. This is a simple task. But have them get into Doodle Buddy. It's a free app, easy to use, and the kids are going to sail through that. The next thing I want to talk about is text. Kids today need to have a balance of reading on different devices. So, for example, digital text now is evolving, and our kids need to be able to read digital text since they will be taking that Smarter Balance in a digital format. So, let's take a look at iBooks. iBooks comes on, let's go back, comes on all of our iPads. You can get it free. And what I did was I went to the store. I just want you to see this. You can go to the store and get free children's books. So I can search that. And you can see, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is not free, but you can see a lot of other ones are free, and you can get some digital text on your iPads. Now, if I click on, like I've already downloaded the Wizard of Oz, I'm going to go back to my shelf and click on this. Now in this text I can just flip my pages, read it like a book. The nice thing, I can also click on text with my finger and hold it down. Let me do that again with my finger. And there I can, and this is really good for kids to know how to take that handle, highlight more text. Say I'm going to have that text highlighted, and I can choose even my color. So if you want the kids to highlight certain words, verbs, let's say for example in yellow, nouns in purple, and so on, you could have kids do that as well. You can underline, as you can see I switched on that A2, and you can underline as well. Let's take a look at that one more time. I want to show you a few other things. You can add a note. So if kids want to, how did he get there? Add a note. They can do that and come back to that. All right. Done. Done. And you can see on the right side there's a note. Now, some of the children's books, I just want to tell you, won't let you do highlighting. It will let you speak. I'm going to just show you this. It'll let you speak the book. It'll let you define. It'll let you copy and search. Some of them won't let you do the highlighting and notes, but this book does. You can also bookmark up on top here. If you take a look at this, you can bookmark this. The other thing I want to let you know that if the speak does not come up, and in Smarter Balance it won't come up, you know, it won't let you at certain options, and actually in some options it does let you speak the questions and so on. But if you would like this setting to be on your iPad, you have to go to General Settings, Accessibility, and you want to turn your speak on, and you can also have it highlight when it speaks as well. All right, so that is an iBook. I love that. But what about annotating like a PDF or something like that? Let's take a look and see what I have here. This is called Notability. This is one of my favorite apps as far as workflow goes. This does cost. This is a paid app. It is not free. We chose to get it on all of our student iPads, and it's worth it. So you bring in a PDF file, and the kids can write. Beware. I'm just writing with my finger. They could use a stylus if they would like to. They can highlight. If they hold down that, they can change the color of their highlight. Let's go with pink. And they can pull out different items. They can use the microphone up here. It's just fabulous. So take a look at Notability. Paperport Notes works. Be aware of different, like Adobe PDF, Masternote, those kind of things. Some of those only let you actually use 3 PDFs, and then you have to, of course, purchase something. So just watch for that. But Notability is great. Paperport Notes works most of the time as well. So let's go on to the next one, which is keyboarding skills. Now, if we take a look at keyboarding skills, there's kind of a lot there, but I want to talk about this for a minute. What is recommended for students in keyboarding is that by third grade, let's say, they need to know how to type 15 words as they are in their stream of thought. So 5 words per grade level is the goal. So depending on what grade level you're at, you want them to try and get up to 5 words. So if a third grader is taking the Smarter assessment, they need to be able to do 15 words, 15 to 20 words per minute. So as they are typing away with their ideas, they should be pretty confident in their keyboarding skills. So how do we get them there? The first thing I want to show you is a few things you can start with in pre-K and in kindergarten. And there are a few apps that are just fun apps locating keys and letters and just kind of looking at the layout of the keyboard. Let's go into learning. Let's see, I already did level 1. Let's go to level 3, see what it does. So you can see that the keyboard is there visually, and they have to recognize those keys. So it's just getting them visually prepared as to where those keys are, maybe even finding their name on the keyboard, having them just locate that. Then, once kids get good at that, you can move them into typing tutor is one. There's typing fingers. There's also typingclub.com that works on an iPad. The one thing that you want to look at about using websites is if they are Flash-based, it's not going to work. So you have to make sure that let's go into my name here, play. You have to make sure that it's going to work on your iPad, or if you have, of course, a Flash player. All right, speaking of keyboarding, I did want to share with you the keyboard that our students will be using as they take the Smarter Balanced Assessment. It looks like this. They will be practicing with this as well. and there will be at least one set per grade level, so you can share and use that as time allows your class to use it. So I wanted to share that with you. So let's get back here. The other thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit of text editing and formatting, and some really good apps that work for that are apps that you enjoy as an adult, as I click on that on my computer, and that is Google Drive. If you get kids using Google Drive, they will get used to creating a document. We want them to be comfortable creating a document, typing a document. Knowing how to use their keyboard to create a capital letter, where is a period located, how do I use an exclamation mark. Now I have the virtual keyboard up, but as you use your external keyboard, the virtual keyboard won't pop up. And as the kids are taking the Smarter Balanced assessment, the assessment does not allow for that virtual keyboard to pop up because the kids need to see the entire screen. So they do need to practice using their keyboard. You want them to be able to do some formatting and basically just know how to write a good sentence and to indent, use their tab and to return, to be able to go down to the next line, things like that. How do they number and write fruit, things like that. So anyway, I'm just in Drive. So that's one. Let's see, let's check that. That's in one app. The other thing, let me just X that out. And now my test is down here somewhere in all of my documents. You can also use Evernote. You can go back to Notability if you want to start just a new document in there. I have Paperport. So here's Evernote, the elephant. The kids love that. Here's Notability, Notes. Those actually will do formatting as well, and you can practice all of those formatting tips that are on your sheet. Now, the next thing, if you take a look at it, it talks about sharing media. And as we were in Drive, let's go back there, you can share, let's say that I would like to share out this Mac training document here. I click on the I, which is right here, and the kids need to know how to share documents. I mean, just having that language is going to help them. So file, if you're in, well, most apps don't have a file, but just showing them where the icon is. The other one too, that is a fun one for the kids to be in, is your Photos app right here. And if I click on Photos app, and let's say I select from my photo stream, and I select a classroom right here. Oops, click on select. Wants me to do my password. Let's get that in there. And let me go back here. I want to click on select, and I click on this, and then the kids need to be aware of this icon here, which is their share icon or open in. You can see all these different options they have, printing options and so on. This is just management, and it's that language that is repeated often where they can get used to that digital environment they're working in. All right, let's keep going down the list. Read and manipulate charts and graphs and so on. So one app, there's not a lot out there that's free. That's the hard part about chart making and graph making. And if there are, there's some that are higher level, which you certainly can get at a different level. Some of these come with these kind of in-app kind of ads. But let's say this one is pretty simple. If I want to just do a column chart, I can click on here. I can click on Create. The kids come with their data, and they come in and they put in their title, favorite, food. And then we might say fruit. And maybe 3 columns. Done. We're going to go apples, oranges, and so on. And they can create theirs, put in their stuff. Done. You have to put in the number, 23, 15, and 10. That Fuji one is interesting. Oops, I added another one. Delete. I'm going to delete that. Let's generate, and there it'll make it. Now, we want them to be able to manipulate. We want them to be able to interpret graphs, be able to put in their data, and so on. So this will just help them get through that part of knowing graphing and so on. All right, let's see. Navigate the internet using the forward and back arrows. The 2 browsers I have on my iPad are Safari and Chrome. Chrome I use because we are a Google district, and so I use that quite often. Safari works as well. So if you click on Safari, if that's what you have, that's the default browser. Kids need to know how to search. So if I'm looking for, let's create a new, I'm clicking on my computer again. Let's create SDB. Let's say that we go here. They need to create a new page. There it is. This is how they go forward and backwards on their arrows. If they want to do a bookmark, they can add their bookmark or add this page to their reading list. The other thing on the website they can learn how to do is to select text and copy it and paste it into another document such as Google Drive or Evernote, and then what they can do from there is put it in their own words, delete, and so on. So, you know, they can also have it, you can see on here that it can speak the text to them if that's appropriate, if they're not learning any reading skills and they're looking for content, they could also have that option as well. So navigating the internet is important. Kids are very savvy with that. It's interesting. All right, so the next 2, we're going to look at read and comprehend digital text, and we talked about that with iBooks a little bit, and then sort information from digital text and citation of digital resources. So those are very important, that they know that language. They know what we're talking about when we say we're citing sources. They know what we're talking about when we are picking apart and putting it in our own words. They know the word plagiarism, those kind of things. So let's take a look at digital literacy a little bit. And let's go to something called SBAiPad. I want to show you this app. It's a free app. And of course there are apps out there that are more expensive, and you can do a few other things that you cannot do with SBAiPad. Let's see if I can get maybe one more. We'll see if this is SBAiPad. Otherwise, we'll just go back here. Thought I had that set up for you. We'll do SBAiPad. Here we go. So SBAiPad, what it does is that it allows you to have 2 different websites up. So if we were going to do some analyzing of an internet site, we could have that up on the left side. Let's see what I have here. Let's search this. Okay, so here's a little gingerbread man. Over here I have my Google Apps account up, and the reason I have that is because I can actually go and compose an email to myself thought it would pop up. Anyway, and I can take notes. You could go and let's just say notes for LGM, Little Gingerbread Man. Whoops. Did you see how it just changed on me? Kids also have to be aware of that and watch that autocorrect. You can actually change that off, change it in your settings and turn it off. So I could do some text reading over here. If I like that, I could copy it. Let's see. Let's go back over here and I can paste it, and now I can put it in my own words. She was a darling little girl, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then I can take this text, select, drag, select, and cut it out. And then I just have my own words. But you can do some of that side-by-side note-taking. Now, there are some apps out there that do cost a little bit more, but you can actually have app next to app. This one, which is free, will only let you have website next to website. So that's how that works. Now, you can sort information from text doing this. You can pull things out doing this side by side, or you can do the multitasking where you're just four-finger swiping back and forth from, say you had a Google Doc open and you had a website open or a book. But you also can, you need to sort your sites. And there is a site called, let's do it right here. Let's just look it up. SBAiPad. And this tends to help students learn how to cite from different sources. So you can see it has website, book, newspaper, journal. Okay, because actually in some of the sample questions they do talk about citing, and so we want kids to know the CITING version of that word, how to cite. So that's it for that. Let me just go on to 10, which is using a digital calculator, and there are calculator apps on your iPad. If you pull this down, you can see that you can get a calculator app, and this is a pretty detailed app, but you certainly can get easier ones for younger kids if you would like that on there. But that's 6 through 10. They're recommending that they use a calculator, a digital calculator, and they know how to do that. All right, let's see, down on 11, 12, and 13, take notes, make comments. We just talked about that. Practice multiple step questions. That's really important that kids are able to do more than one question at a time. Not at a time, but they answer a question and then it has a second part to that question. There are many of those on the Smarter Balance assessment, so make sure that they're able to know that they're not done with just the first, but they have to go through 2 or 3 different steps depending on their developmental age. And then the use of a drop-down menu, you can find that, gosh, you know what, Notability. Also, I was just thinking forms. You can create assessments in Drive, not on your iPad, but on a computer, and you can have kids practice taking those assessments through forms. It's called, in your Google Drive, it's called a form, and the students can take it on their iPad, and that's really good for them because there's a drop-down option for questions, and the kids can get used to using that drop-down menu. Speak selection we talked about. I showed you how you can set that up under accessibility and then click in a text field. And that's another good thing on forms. Create your form. There's also an option in creating a form where you can actually use let's just say default, okay, a text box. So here's a text box. Their answer will go here. They have to know to click in that. Let's click on done. Let's add an item, and you would put your question in. Let's add, let's see, choose from a list. option, option, and then we're going to click on done. I hope this has helped you to understand what is going to be on the Smarter Balanced Assessment as far as tech skills goes with an iPad. And if you have any questions, please contact me. My name is Beth Clark, and have a fabulous day. Thank you.